Disclaimer, these foods are not the best tasting, okay? But they will get the job done. You understand what I'm saying? They will make you feel full for longer, and they're very low in calories. You're more likely to be in a deficit if you're full, or if you feel like you're full. Does that make sense? You're more likely to stay in the deficit, and losing fat literally is an accumulation of how many days, weeks, months, years you're in a deficit. Yeah! What is going on, guys? It's Nicholson, and I'm back again with another video, bro. I hope you guys are doing good, bro. What are the best foods when it comes to losing fat? A lot of people do struggle with this, and I struggled with this for a very long time as well when I was going through the fat loss phase many millennials ago. You know what I'm saying? And here's what I found to be the best foods, okay? Now, before we get into this, I'm going to explain to you what these foods are classed as, and then I'm going to give you my top 5 when it comes to these foods, okay? There's literally hundreds or even thousands of these types of foods, but I'll give you my top 5 just so we save time. When it comes to losing fat, what's the main thing? Calorie deficit, okay? Now, how do we achieve a calorie deficit? Either through our diet or through cardio or exercise or weight training or whatever you want to call it. With those principles in mind, that technically means we can eat whatever we want to lose fat, which is true. You can eat literally whatever you want. As long as you know calorie maintenance or deficit, you can literally eat whatever you want. However, as you know, there are better foods than others. Why is it the general consensus that you shouldn't eat McDonald's or takeaway when it comes to wanting to lose fat, and you should eat home-cooked meal? It's because with McDonald's, it's very processed. You don't know how many calories are in there. You don't know what process the food has had to go through. It's just not good for you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to the best foods for fat loss, it's foods called low-calorie dense foods. I know that sounds complicated, but bro, trust me, it's not. Low-calorie dense food simply means foods that are very low in calories, but they're very satiating. Okay? So foods that are not high in calories, but are satiating. If I give you an example of oats. Oats are very low in calories, and yet they're very satiating. They leave you feeling full for a very long time. Why are these kinds of foods better for fat loss than foods that are high calorie dense? Where it's like they are very high in calories and they're not that satiating. Foods like ice cream, cookies, where you can literally keep binging on them. Why would you think low calorie dense foods are better? Low calorie dense foods are better because you're more likely to be in a deficit if you're full, or if you feel like you're full. Does that make sense? You're more likely to stay in the deficit, and losing fat literally is an accumulation of how many days, weeks, months, years you're in a deficit. Does that make sense? You need to be in a deficit for a prolonged period of time for you to see substantial results from fat loss. This is going to be really difficult for you to do if you're always constantly feeling hungry. It's going to be really difficult. I don't care how much willpower you've got. At some point, you're going to give in. If the hunger is persistent enough, you will give in at some point. I don't care how much willpower you've got. Okay, so for you to give yourself the best chance of staying in a deficit and losing as much fat as possible, you want to make sure you're eating foods that are very satiating, okay? Now, with that said, what is my top 5 low-calorie dense foods? This is very easy. I don't even have to write a list down for this, okay? Because these are a staple in my own diet, so you can add these to your diet as well. You know what I'm saying? So, number 1, I don't know if you guys guessed this, egg whites. I never knew there was such a massive difference between regular eggs and egg whites. You know, regular eggs with a yolk inside. I didn't know there's such a massive difference, but there is, right? Off the top of my head, don't quote me on this because I could be wrong, but if we're comparing 100 grams of whole egg and, you know, egg whites have all the protein, no carbs, and no fat. With whole eggs, you're going to have a lot of calories. It's like double or triple the amount of calories. It's actually insane. Now, whole eggs are not by any means bad because you're still getting protein and they're actually really good for you. Okay, but when it comes to fat loss, you want to minimize your caloric intake the best you can. You feel me? Obviously, you don't want your caloric intake to be too low, but at the same time, you don't want to be eating foods that are going to bring that caloric intake up, risking the chance of you getting out of the deficit, okay? So my first choice will always be egg whites. Number 2, wholemeal bread. Wholemeal bread to go with the egg whites, okay? The thing I love about wholemeal foods is wholemeal foods are usually not as processed as foods that are not wholemeal. Processed foods have hidden calories, okay? So processed foods are gonna have a lot of calories from the sugars, a lot of calories from the saturated fat, you know, a lot of calories from all these hidden things, as opposed to, you know, single ingredient unprocessed foods. Okay, I'd always stick to single ingredient. That's another tip for you guys. Stick to single ingredient foods when it comes to fat loss. Okay, number 3, white fish. Okay, now I said white fish on purpose, okay, because when I'm bulking I eat fish like salmon. Salmon is really, any fish is going to be good for you because you need omega-3 fatty acids. You're not going to get those from anything else other than fish. Okay, so whether you're having salmon, whitefish, whatever it is, it's still good, really good for you. It's gonna be good for vision. There's so many benefits that fish has. I'll probably put it on the screen. However, you must have some sort of fish in your diet. Okay, fish is really good for you. Now, I said whitefish on purpose because if you compare 100 grams of whitefish and the 100 grams of salmon, salmon has a tremendous amount of calories. If you're trying to bulk up, eat salmon, bro. Trust me, eat salmon. Like, it's got a lot of calories. But whitefish is probably the lowest calorie, highest protein meat source you can get. I know fish is meat in it. Don't get after me in the comments. But whitefish is good for fat loss, okay? Not only is it satiating, but it's very low in calories and very high in protein, okay? So I'd always recommend it to any single person. Eat fish, bro. Anyways, you need to have some form of red meat in your diet, okay? Red meat has creatine in it, alright? Now, when it comes to the red meat, don't be having, like, you know, thick steaks and all this stuff. Don't do that BS, bro. Come on, bro. Have lean red meat, okay? So, like I mentioned before, 5% mincemeat, okay? This is a staple in my diet, especially when I'm losing fat, okay? When I'm trying to gain fat, you know, or not gain fat, but like when I'm trying to maintain or bulk up, I'll probably eat like 20%, 25% mincemeat. When I say 20% or 25%, it's like the fat, okay? Because most of the calories in the mincemeat or in the red meat are going to come from the fat content inside them, okay? So 5% mincemeat has not got that many calories, okay? Relative to how much protein it's got. You feel what I'm saying? Like, it's really, really, really good for you. So I would always recommend you to have that. Here's a bonus tip for you. Stay away from milk, okay? Stay away from dairy foods when it comes to trying to lose fat, okay? Here's one of the things I noticed. One of the things that I noticed during my fat loss journey. When I cut out dairy foods, like I have them now, I'm not saying don't completely just don't have them, but like, here's a psychological thing. Dairy foods, for the most part, I don't know if it's like this for you guys as well, but for me, it makes me bloated. It makes me look puffy. It makes me look fat, basically, even though I might not be, right? It's gonna dishearten you and discourage you when you see yourself like that. So when I cut these dairy products out, I started looking less bloated and less puffy, right? And don't eat as much as well. Don't be eating, you know, until you're literally pregnant, okay? Don't be eating until you have a mad food baby. Just eat until you're, you know, satisfied. Eat the protein in the meal, and you're good. You feel me? Because when you look bloated, you're gonna think, oh, I look fat, this is not working, and then it's gonna dishearten you, okay? So I don't want that for you, okay? So just make sure, okay, you implement these tips that I'm giving you in these videos, okay? I know the video might be all over the place because I didn't write it down. I just, off the top of my head, trying to give you guys as much value as possible. I know I'm tired as hell, but I know you guys really need these tips and it's gonna help somebody. So as long as, you know, one person is helped, that's all I care about, really. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully in the next video I won't be as tired. But you know, the grind is the grind. We don't complain. I was gonna say something that rhymes them, but I can't think of anything, bro. So anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching, man. And I'll catch you in the next video, man. That's a Sigma male face thing in it. I don't know why I just did that, but I know feet is not meat. Fish feet. It's like, it's poultry, right? Wait, no, it's not. It's not poultry. Is it poultry? I don't know what the hell fish is in it. But anyways, it's good for